Here we go. Breaking. Everything changes this week. I'm going to explain that tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just the debate. We're going to talk about that and more tonight. Let's go. Big Picture Live. Here we go. Woohoo! All right, breaking, everybody. Welcome. You know the drill. Smash that like button if you haven't already done it. Smash it. Yeah, wherever you're following us, do your deal. You know what you got to do. Show us some love. And that might be a heart. That might be a thumbs up. Who knows what that might be, okay? But whatever it is, just do it for us tonight. We appreciate it. Man, I tell you what, how many times have I come in on two wheels for this show? This is another one of them tonight. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that, hopefully, as we get going into the show tonight. Well, one thing that I want to show you to start off before we bring the Queen in here, it's breaking tonight that the legendary actor, voice actor, and major star, legendary James Earl Jones has passed away. The talent behind so many of our favorite films died on Monday at the age of 93, y'all. It's amazing. At his home in Dutchess County, New York. And just talks about where he was born in Mississippi in 1931. And then, of course, he goes on to have so many iconic roles that we know and love. Of course, Darth Vader, he was the voice of Darth Vader. And then so many others. He was the voice of, Mufasa, okay, in The Lion King. Not to mention a great actor. And for those that have ever watched the Bible app, I think I don't really remember what it was called, but he was one of the main people that orchestrated the reading of the Bible. So he claimed to be a Christian, the voice behind many cinema's greatest villains as well. Let's watch a little bit of this.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away! Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant.
Thank you for that super chat, by the way. Eddie Bush. Thank you. Iconic film, Star Wars. This is back when Star Wars was actually good. Remember that?
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi and will soon see the end of the rebellion.
Wow.
He felt surprise was wiser.
He is as clumsy as he
right
is stupid. General, prepare your troops for a surface attack. You have failed me for the last.
So I'm probably getting a copyright hit on that right there. But I had to give honor to the man, James Earl Jones. Wow, that's breaking today. Many of our childhood people that we followed, heroes, whatever you want to call them, are leaving us. All right, we're getting ready to bring the Queen in, y'all, and then we got a lot of news to cover tonight. So you ready, babe?
Who's lowered my chair?
Don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing her in right now.
Right.
She's mad about her chair and everything.
That's right.
Okay. Y'all show some love for the Queen. She's in the house.
I'm glad to be here. Missed you guys. Love you guys. Thankful for you guys.
Yeah.
I hope you've had a good day in these weird times that we're living in.
Very
Strange.
weird times. Strange times.
Yeah.
And
While you were doing that story, I was just thinking, man, the greats are dying off, right?
they really are.
They're leaving us.
They are. And look, we don't have blinders on. We know that whoever's in Hollywood, chances are they're, been into some stuff that we would
Very
not support.
likely, I would say.
But the truth is, there are some that are really the older people that came through and just decided to have a good life in their older years,
Right.
and that's what he's done. And
Whether
he's
or
talked a lot about the Bible.
he was involved, he was a classy guy, right?
Yeah, he was.
And he did some outstanding work, and he just had a way about him, not just his voice, but he was a distinguished gentleman.
Yes.
And we don't have nearly enough of that anymore, that's for sure.
That's right. Well, go ahead, put your seatbelt on. We got to hit this. We got to go through some stuff.
And might I add?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time with you guys. I came in on 2 wheels from staying with my dad, so I have not had much prep time. So I am hearing this with you for the first time.
So we'll react to some of these news things together, and later on in the show we will give an update on your dad. But let's get into the news right now. As of right now, this is crazy. The shooter in Kentucky is still on the loose, and maybe when you watch this on replay, they'll have been found. But the I-75 shooter is now into day 3. The manhunt for the suspect continues. Some area schools are closed, and if you live in Kentucky, and anywhere around this area, please comment and let us know, because all we know is the news that we've got. You're on the ground. But this is the local news here, the latest that I could find. Let's watch
Late-breaking
this.
details just into the newsroom about the gunman suspected of opening fire on drivers on Interstate 75, injuring 5 people.
Now, according to newly released court documents, police received a call before the shooting that Joseph Couch sent a text saying he was going to kill a bunch of people.
The woman who reported the text says that Couch sent another message saying that he would kill himself after. And a gun store owner in London told police that Couch bought an AR-15 rifle and 1,000 rounds of ammunition shortly before the shooting.
We also learned today that Couch was arrested in February in Knox County on terroristic threatening charges. Those charges were later dismissed. This all comes as police slowly search the dense forest for signs of him. WLKY's Addie Miners is live in Laurel County tonight with an update on that search. Addie?
Hey, Vicki and Rick. Yeah, Kentucky State Police say this search is moving at a snail's pace, but for good reason. Trooper Scotty Pennington of the Kentucky State Police described this search as a game of hide and seek as officers continue to wear down Joseph Couch. However,
you know, my opinion is he's probably not any longer here.
Really?
I think he's gone. I think he's. That's why they can't find him. I think he's dense in the forest, and of course the drones that get the heat signals. Thank you for that super chat, Julie Bradshaw.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you, Julie.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a big one. Thank you so much. So, what is your opinion and why they can't find this guy in 3 days?
Listen, I have a lot of trouble believing almost anything that's reported, but if he is...
We've been getting a lot of complaints about your voice.
Sorry, it's this chair. I can't get close enough
so
in this chair.
we need you to really
this
speak
setup
up.
that you have here.
Yeah, there you go.
If he has been unalived, I would probably think that he had some assistance in that because, as I've said before, dead men can tell no tales. So we certainly wouldn't be able to question him if he's no longer with us, right?
Right.
There wouldn't be any kind of...
I think most people know exactly what you're saying.
So
without saying it, that there's the programs that people have been used to program to do things to be activated in times of when desired chaos is required or needed or requested, and then so easily you get rid of them so that they can't talk.
So the bigger picture or question to me is, hey, what the heck's going on here? Yes, it's terrible that people have been injured. It's terrible that someone has been on the run and we still don't know the whereabouts. But what is happening here? What is going on? I hate to even ask the question, is this a new ripple, a new turning of the page? I hope this is a one-off. We don't need to see any more of this, okay? Because this is outrageous.
Yeah. Well, we've said on this show, and we're going to show you further tonight that we believe that these things like this are going to become more common because, unfortunately, we always say we hope we're wrong.
Yes.
But when you start looking at the big picture of in November, there are people that are scared to death that a certain man's going to win, and when they do, if he does, it's going to be a lot of people's going to be in trouble. A lot of people are scared what's going to happen to them.
Right.
And so when you've got that kind of powerful people, they need chaos over the next few weeks, and I think they are getting ready, and I think the signs are pointing to us that they're getting ready to unleash even more chaos.
Well, let's add another layer to this, and something that we've definitely referred to many times in the past is we've talked about invasion. Are we experiencing?
Oh,
are we
yeah.
going to? Are we now experiencing?
Oh, we're going to talk a lot about it
an
tonight.
invasion. Okay, so if it was an invasion, they're not here to play card games and board games, right?
Said that.
If it is an invasion, then they're here with a plan that would be activated at some point. Does it look like this incident? Does it look like many of these types of incidents? Because in my mind, I was thinking of large-scale events or attacks. I don't know if that's what you guys thought when we seriously thought about the word invasion, but are we talking about attacking power substations and water plants and different factories and going in and setting up on the side of the interstate? And is this what it looks like?
Let me throw another wrinkle in there. In the conspiracy mind that your mind goes to is how convenient it would be for them not to release that they've got him or whatever. Maybe they found him in the woods and he's unalived.
So we've already
but wait a minute, let me finish
revealed his identity. We know
that's
who
where I'm
he
going.
is. Okay.
Wait a minute, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
What if that's not who it is? What if because when you saw the picture, of course you knew what the image looked like, and if we're talking about people being activated and you don't want to get that out, it's very easy to put out someone that doesn't look like those that are coming across the border, and all of a sudden if they're gone, then you have no.
So that
identity. That's where I'm going.
Was it just an identity? Is it the actual real identity?
We don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
We don't know.
Sad, so sad to say. I can't trust most of what's presented to me in my own country.
Yeah, somebody said I had to go on YouTube to hear anything about it. I'm 2 hours from London, Kentucky. Wow. And so that speaks volumes right there.
Yes.
So I think I think this is another one of those things that we're not going to ever find out the truth.
Yes.
And who knows what's going to happen? And we pray that there is no copycats. But I'm telling you right now, this is the kind of stuff they love, because what do immediately?
Who up here was mentioning the? We've covered this, the Venezuelan gangs and
we're going to
the
cover all that tonight.
Apartments in Colorado.
I got a huge
it's
breaking news.
It's just another layer.
Yeah. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. So, but one thing I want to show you right here is we're going to just rapid fire some things. Yeah. California's been rocked by a swarm of 5 earthquakes in just 48 hours. Residents in California experienced a swarm of 5 earthquakes. 4.4 magnitude was felt in the northern area around Lake County on Saturday, and 2 more struck in areas following that evening, ranked at 2.7, 2.8. So we're seeing increased seismic attacks underground. I mean, not attacks, but events underground, 3.9 magnitude. And it says Northern California typically sees a spate of about 50 earthquakes per month, experienced 2 quakes this weekend, in addition to the 2 felt in the southern area. So if you're in California, let us know. Is anybody speaking?
I don't know where Lake County is. Did you say, is that near L.A., not far from L.A.?
It says locals in Southern California are reporting 2 more quakes. So I don't know where Lake County is. I don't know if that means it's in Southern California. Our California folks, got a lot of California people watch. Let us know about that. So let's rapid fire to the next thing. Now tomorrow night, this is one of the reasons, not the only reason, one of the reasons that I'm saying everything changes this week. Prepare yourself. That's the headline. So tomorrow night is the debate, the one and only debate. Okay. So here we go. Let me just show you a few things. Kamala campaign is in panic mode. She is locked in a hotel with a Trump impersonator. This is actually true.
Part of her practice and rehearsal.
They've brought in a guy that's hugely.
Bigly.
He's big. He's a bigly. Oh, I think I got it. Did you hear that? He's a bigly. Was that it? I think it was close. He's bigly.
I don't think he's going to say he's a bigly.
He's a bigly. He's a bigly impersonator. The pressure is mounting on Kamala Harris as her campaign appears to be in full-blown panic mode. This is, of course, an opinion piece of the upcoming debate. According to recent reports from Fox News, Harris's team has resorted to extreme measures to prepare their candidate, even going so far as to seclude her in a Pittsburgh hotel room with the stage set up and a Trump impersonator to simulate the debate environment.
They are not playing.
They are not playing. The Gateway pundit previously reported that Harris is demanding a seated format and permission to use a cheat sheet during the live debate, an unprecedented move that Trump's campaign has swiftly condemned. This, they argue, is yet another example of Harris's reluctance to face tough questions and her ability to handle the pressure of live debates. With regard to the debate, I think the Harris campaign is looking for an escape hatch. It's looking for a way to get out of the debate. Of course, we know that this is a little bit old news here. To be clear, that these are the rules that the Democrats wrote. These are the ones they wrote for Joe Biden, and she had to agree to them. These are the rules that we had in place for the CNN debate. Everyone has agreed to the rules, at least informally with ABC. So we got several other news items that we're going to cover that's related to this, but they're saying that the reason that she wanted the mics to not be muted in between is because the feeling is that her only chance is to turn this thing into making Trump look to be so mean that she. I'm talking.
This
please
is
quit.
The theory you and Paul Begley came up with on.
No, this is actually on. I mean, I came up with it on our show, but this is also being reported, and I think they probably got it from me and Paul. But some of the mainline people are like Fox News. They didn't give me and Paul Begley any credit, and I need some royalties or something.
You do, babe.
But continuing on this line, a lot of people don't know this about Kamala Harris. When she was a senator, she was voted by multiple magazines as the most liberal senator in the Senate. Now, do you understand that means that she was more liberal than Bernie Sanders, who is a confessed communist?
That's pretty tough.
Socialist, at least.
To do, right?
But watch this, what Bernie said this week.
Ooh, I can hardly wait.
Bernie Sanders says out loud that Kamala Harris is acting like a moderate because she's, quote, doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. Stop me if you've heard this before, but a politician running running for high office is lying to you. Yes, Kamala Harris, whose Senate record is more radical left than Pocahontas and Crazy Bernie, is pretending to be moderate. But Bernie accidentally let everyone in on her little secret. Of all places, NBC News. Listen to Bernie.
Described Vice President Kamala Harris as a progressive. She has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning.
Key point. No, I don't think she's abandoning her progressive ideas. Remember, she was voted more left than Bernie. But listen to what he said. No, I don't believe that she's abandoned what she really believes, but this is what she's doing.
Abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. My own view is slightly different. I think that in America today, there are a lot of people, rural people, working class people, who no longer believe that the United States Congress and government represents their interests, too dominated by big money interests. So I think that there is something wrong personally when we are the only.
Okay, so he basically says it. She has to do this to win. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean to you for the never Trumpers, the Trump haters, right. Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney both came out this week and endorsed Kamala, said they'd be voting for Kamala. And, that's supposed to be a big deal.
Right.
And all this kind of stuff, which is not a big deal, but because they're really not Republicans.
Exactly.
But the reality is this, when Bernie Sanders openly says that what he's really saying, interpretation by Larry Ragland, goes like this. She's lying to you to make you think a certain thing, but when she gets in office, brother, she's going to lay it down on the line. She's going to get everything she ever wanted. Her communist parents that she was raised by, her Marxist parents she was raised by, her Marxist theology that she has is going to be in full blown.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so it was rumored that he was paid several $1 million to go away in one of the last.
Against Hillary?
I can't remember.
It was against Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we not hear that?
We did hear that.
Can't prove it.
Yeah.
But it was certainly flying around. So do we really? I mean, it makes perfect sense. But
he's the most wealthy socialist.
The most wealthy socialist.
Yeah, that's ever existed. I mean, he's now a multimillionaire. He's ran on the fact that he's this poor guy that drove something like a Yugo. Y'all remember Yugos?
Oh yeah.
Boy, I need some new material.
Me too.
I need some new material. Some of
Yugo
y'all like
was
Yugo.
a thing, though.
Man,
look it up.
Let me ask, just a little side note on Yugos. I think about Yugos a lot. I don't know why, but
because of Yugoslavia.
There's no Yugoslavia either anymore. But here's what I want to know: does anybody ever see a Yugo? I mean, is there not a Yugo left? I never see them. I want to know in the live chat. I want to know in the comment section. Do you own a Yugo, or have you ever been driving around and looked over and said, "What is that?" and you found out it was a Yugo? Is there a single Yugo still on the road? I don't know.
Yeah, thanks.
And
babe.
if they're not, then there's another conspiracy. Where did all the Yugos go? Somebody has to have had a Yugo.
Well,
in their garage.
Seeing as how that was the late 80s.
Doesn't matter. Think about where people driving cars from the 50s and in the 40s.
Maybe they just all, exceeded their life. And
maybe they can't get parts for them.
There were no parts to.
I need a Yugo. I need somebody to send me a picture of a Yugo that's still running. And I don't know why I'm on this right now, but I want to know, and I especially want to know if we got any big picture people that are driving a Yugo.
I want you to send us the Yugo.
Send us the Yugo,
and we're going to auction it off.
Yeah. Hey, yes.
So we can raise funds.
Yes.
For all this TV time and equipment that we need to pay for.
Okay. All right. So sorry. Focus. Now there is a guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, Kash Patel. Have you ever heard of him? He used to be okay. So he's got a book coming out right now. I've seen him on several shows going around, and he was very inside the intelligence world. He's from that, and he worked for Trump. He's very pro-Trump, but on Sean, what's his name? Sean Ryan's show. I watched a lot of that interview. He didn't really go that far on this interview. But he did in this.
Is there a picture of him in this article? I
think so.
What he looks like.
Yeah, I'll show you. Kash Patel, and he was on a podcast this week, and he said what a lot of people have been thinking. He said, well, let's just look at what he said here, because this is unbelievable. That's why I'm talking about everything's about to change, y'all. Everything's about to majorly change. Quote, "It's in the works. Kamala Harris will be installed as president before election," says Kash Patel. If you can count on Joe Biden to do one thing, it's to save his family from all this illicit conduct that he has been caught up in, and he can do it with the stroke of a pen.
Wow.
Kash Patel, former Department of Defense Chief of Staff and Deputy Director of the National Intelligence under President Trump, believes that Kamala Harris may be installed as president before the 2024 election. Speaking on the popular X22 Report podcast, Patel shared his belief that President Biden might step down and hand the reins of the presidency to the vice president in a carefully orchestrated political move designed to shield his embattled family. Patel, who was promoting his new book, Government Gangsters, The Deep State, the Truth, and the Battle for Democracy, didn't mince words. It's really on him to, I guess, in this instance, work with Biden as the commander-in-chief, who would also, by the way, slip the commander-in-chief hat over to Kamala in the lead up to the election here to make her president and give her a boost politically somehow, and he could retire from the seat. He speculated the deal could already be in the works, whereby Biden steps down to ensure that Harris assumes power before the election. This, he claimed, would be part of a broader effort to protect the Biden family from legal repercussions stemming from ongoing investigations into Hunter Biden's dealings with tax issues. Now, we're going to watch a little bit of it right down here.
Wow. I'm interested to know, does this include a pardon by...
Yes.
one of them, one of the two of them?
Well, you know, he's openly said again, just recently as last week, Biden said, I will not pardon my son, even though he's pled guilty to all these crimes. But watch this. He don't have to pardon if he ain't the president.
Ooh.
So look, this is what
plot thickens.
That's what I'm
right.
saying. Everything's about to change, y'all. It's about to get crazy. October surprise. Cash Patel believes. So let's just listen to this. This is when he was on the podcast.
Really on him to I guess in this instance, work with Biden, who's the commander-in-chief, who could also, by the way, slip the commander-in-chief hat over to Kamala in the lead up to the election here to make her, quote-unquote, president and give her a boost politically somehow, and he could just retire from the seat.
Do you think that'll be an October surprise?
I think it's in the works. I've always said this. Look, I think that no member of the Biden family will ever go to prison. This tax trial that Hunter Biden's now underway is a total sham and a fraud. He should have been charged with multiple serious felonies years ago. Not to mention the fact that he's already a convicted felon. But Daddy is going to save him. He's never going to do a day in jail. And I think the horse trade will be, I'm going to, Joe Biden, leave or retire. You, Kamala, are going to take the reins. And once the election is over, you're going to pardon my son and my entire family and myself. Because remember, presidential pardons aren't just retroactive. They're prospective. So if you pardon someone, you pardon them for the entirety of the conduct that you put in the pardon paperwork. And I've always thought that that was going to be some way, some deal of the horse trade. Because if you can count on Joe Biden to do one thing, it's to save his family from all of this illicit conduct that they have been caught in. And he can do it with the stroke of a pen.
But they can still bring charges against Biden, though. Joe Biden. Because why would they, with all the investigation of the House and all shell companies?
He'll pardon.
So what he's saying, and he gets cut off there, what he's saying is that presidential pardons in the paperwork, you can say retroactively and prospectively, meaning anything that you detail that they're pardoned for, if new allegations come out in that, they are pardoned in advance. So you know, politicians are experts with words. Even though Joe Biden is not really great with words right now, they can put on a teleprompter in front of him, say this over and over again, I will not pardon my son. Don't worry, I will not pardon my son. Well, guess what? If Kamala Harris is president, you don't have to pardon your son. Not only will your son get pardoned by Kamala Harris, but so will you. And by the way, not to mention your uncle, his uncle, brother,
yes.
and daughter, and all them, they've all got shell companies, and they all got paid from China.
Yeah.
And
We're talking
nobody's
about
even
a
talking
lot of money and a lot of corruption here, aren't we?
Yeah. So he's saying that his intelligence is telling him that this is what's going to happen. And watch this. This is what I mean by everything changes this week. If, here's the thing. If what everybody's expecting to happen, and I'm not predicting this will happen, but if this debate goes the way people seem like even on the left is afraid that it's going to go, and that it's going to go bad for her, then they're done. They're done. She's not going to do an interview. If it is apparent that she can't answer a question, she's not going to do an interview. She's going to follow the lead of Biden. She's going to be basically in a glorified basement and avoid the media and try to ride this thing on out on joy and all this kind of stuff. But here's the reality. They will go into panic mode. And I got to be careful with my words, but they know they can't pew pew again. But somebody could, but I don't think the ones that pew pew can pew pew again, because they realize that's really going to be bad if that messes up again. Yes. So we've tried the lawfare, all this kind of stuff. Well, the only thing left, if this thing goes south tomorrow night, and no matter how far, which direction it goes, the media is going to spin it that she won. The media is going to spin it that it was a victory for her. Yes. But when the polls start coming in, and they go into panic mode, that nothing went her way in the polls, and in fact, maybe it went his way, and it's looking like it's inevitable that he's going to win. I promise you, whether it happens or not, they will try their best, and there will be people, just like Cash Patel said, that will say our only thing left is to turn her into the incumbent and make her in the record books, even if it's for a few days, even if it's for a few weeks, the first female president of the United States of America. and she will be able to stand up and say, do you really not want to get a woman a full chance? I'm doing the office of president now. Just got off a call with Vladimir Zelensky. I'm trying to solve this. I'm trying to solve as president, what's going on in the Middle East. Right. Will you not give a woman a chance? That will be their final straw.
You know, this is the second time that we've been kicking this around since we felt like Joe Biden was getting ready to...
We just lost 100 viewers, but by the way,
go
ahead. Just like that.
Remember when he officially left the campaign and went to the beach and everything to eat ice cream and turned it over to her? We had talked a little about something like this could happen then. What are we looking at? How many weeks are we looking at since he resigned from the campaign? And
not even 2 months.
Okay, so 8 weeks, and this is like a brand new idea.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just been so many things have happened in 8 weeks. We haven't talked about it or thought about it because we're dealing with so many other things. We're just revisiting at least something that we had thought about and talked about here. So it becomes a lot more interesting at this point in time, though, doesn't it?
It does. Now look, we're going to park right here for just a minute, and I'm going to show you the headline, and then we're going to break down what this means because very few people are talking about this. It says the headline says this, and I've seen it in a couple of places. Most have no idea that the quote, the summit of the future will create the United Nations 2.0. Watch this, on September 22nd and 23rd.
Okay, I need to get into this because I don't understand this either.
All right, so we're going to get into it. But Sandy, right now, I want us to take 3 minutes because several people have asked about it. Give us an update on your dad and what's going on with your life because, you know, things are a little bit hectic right now.
Yes.
But people want to know how your dad is and what's going on.
We had a big weekend here at church, so that added to some of the chaos. But my dad, he seems to get weaker by the day, you know, loss of appetite, sleeping a lot more, physical strength is less to get up and move around. He definitely needs some assistance to make sure he's not falling. Sometimes I think he's closer to the other side than he is here. I think some of you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But even still, it's all good. I tell everybody we are blessed.
Yes.
I'm telling them the prayers are working. I feel the prayers. I feel the strength of the prayers. He feels the peace and the strength of the prayers, even though I'm telling you that he's very weak. We couldn't have it any better. He's in his home.
Right.
He's never alone 1 minute. Me and my brother, God has made it to where we're able to share spending the nights with him. Others are helping as well. Yeah. God has given us the physical strength and the durability to be there. And I couldn't ask for more. To have this time with my father, to be able to say everything I need to say, to be there with him so that he doesn't have to worry about anything is everything to me. Amen. And to still be able to be here with you guys and to still be able to participate in my church to the level that I am. It is a choreographed dance a lot of the time, but God's doing it.
And I'm so proud of you, babe. You have done tremendous with your dad.
It's all God and the prayers.
And I want to say this to the Big Picture family. This is not just trying to hype you up, whatever. But I told her tonight, I was like, baby, why don't you let me handle this tonight? And because she's just wore out, and she said, "No, I want to be on. I want to be on. I need to be on there. I want to be with my Big Picture family." That's how much we love you guys.
Yes,
that's how much we love coming to you
Absolutely.
and being a part of your life, and you being a part of our lives. So that being because we're a family, many of you have asked about an update, so I wanted to give you that. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for that update.
Yes.
And continue to pray for us, and we'll keep you updated in case something happens.
Prayers are working. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So let's get back into this article here because this is going to be crazy. All right. So most people have no idea that the summit.
All these freaky hands reaching out to this.
It is a little freaky. Yeah.
I don't even like that.
Yes. The summit of the future. The summit of the future. Don't that just automatically make you go, oh God, what is it? Because anytime they talk about the future, it's not good for us. No. Okay. All right. So the summit of the future will create the United Nations 2.0. on a convention of September 22nd and 23rd. All right, so the United Nations wants much more control over global affairs and the, quote, the Pact for the Future, which is scheduled to be adopted during the, quote, the Summit of the Future.
I've got to stop you. Was I just asleep? I do not remember hearing about these phrases.
Sandy, me neither. This has not been talked about at all.
Pact for the Future, Summit of the Future. And
it's not been talked about at all.
I know some things, but I promise you I've not seen or heard this.
All right, so it will be held on September 22nd and 23rd and will go a long way towards making that a reality. But even though the Summit for the Future is just days away, hardly anyone is talking about it. And the mainstream media is almost entirely ignoring it.
Yeah, they are.
Enormous decisions that could dramatically affect the future of everyone on the entire planet are about to be made.
Okay, let's read that again. Enormous decisions that could dramatically affect the future of everyone on the entire planet are about to be made.
And just about the entire population has absolutely no idea what is going on.
True that.
This is exactly how the globalists like it. Wow. They don't want the general population to even be aware of their agenda as they relentlessly push it forward.
Yeah, we don't want to have another one of those snafus. Poor Tedros was so heartbroken
he was so
about.
mad because we found out the pandemic treaty. According to the official United Nations website, the idea for the Summit of the Future was, quote, listen to this, conceived at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic 4 years ago. It was conceived in that. So there was like a seed bed. There was a conception. A child was born.
You're killing me.
In 2020, the United Nations turned 75. And marked the occasion by starting a global conversation about hopes of the fears of the future. This was the beginning of the process that would eventually lead 4 years later to the convening of the Summit of the Future, a major event this September, which will take place. Listen to this and ask yourself, have you heard about this from anyone?
No.
Including this channel. We didn't even know about it. And y'all know we know about just about everything.
We didn't know about this.
Oh, I got to tell you something real quick. I'm going to go right back to it. This blessed me so much. If you're watching right now, I want to tell you that I loved your comment. Somebody sent me a comment and said, hey, I went to a prophecy conference in California. Some of the biggest prophecy teachers in America. They were talking about conspiracy theories. They were talking about all the things coming. And she said in the comment, I loved it. She said, I was leaning over telling everybody I already knew all about all this because Larry and Sandy on the big picture already told me.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
So she said, I just want to thank y'all that I was already informed.
If Kevin Lemoyne hasn't heard about it either, well, hey, we know something's up.
Yeah, he says maybe we can be unburdened at this summit by what has been burdened us.
Come on.
All right,
and for the record, I don't believe that they just got this revelation 4 years ago. They don't operate that way.
No.
They have a long-range plan because they play the long game.
Yeah,
this is a bunch of bull.
But you know Noah, your hoorah, was over there in that room going, hey, y'all, this is the time. This is the time. All right, so look, in 2020, the UN turned 75. This was the beginning of the process that would eventually lead 4 years later to the coming of the Summit of the Future, a major event this September, which take place at the United Nations headquarters, just before the annual high-level debate of the General Assembly. Oh, and by the way, just before a little over a month and a half from the election, which would be right before the week of what would be known as an October surprise. So if you had an October surprise or a late September surprise, it would distract people even further from this, knowing about it. The summit was conceived at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, but when there was a perception at the UN that rather than cooperating to face the global threat that affected all of us, countries and people pulled apart. That sounds very nice until you start digging into the details. There's a very special page for the Summit of the Future on the United Nations website that tells us what the summit will be. So it tells us that this summit will be, quote, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to create, quote, a new international consensus.
Do I need to do an interpretation here?
We will need that interpretation in just a moment.
No, I'm giving it right now.
All right, go ahead.
We're getting you closer to the mark of the beast and
Ding,
total
ding, ding,
control
ding.
over your life.
The one world government, the beast system. The summit, this is what it is a high-level event bringing world leaders together to forge a new international consensus on how we deliver a better present and safeguard the future. Effective global cooperation is increasingly critical, blah, blah, blah. Let's go down here, right here. It says the event will consist of sessions, plenaries. What is that? Plenaries? Okay. It's a fancy word for classes based around 5 main tracks. Have you heard this before? Sustainable development and financing, peace and security, a digital future for all, youth and future generations, and global governance.
Of course. Well, you lost me at peace and security because I know what the Bible says about that.
Yep.
When they say peace and safety, right?
Sudden destruction
Utter
shall come upon them
sudden
as
destruction.
travaileth upon a woman. And other topics that cut across all the work of the UN. But I want to go back to that again. I want to highlight this right here. These are the topics that will be covered. Look at that. Sustainable development and financing, peace and security, a digital future for all. And if it's digital, it's programmable.
Well, my skin is starting to crawl
earlier
come on. And earlier
come on, stay with me.
in
stay with
this show.
Stay with me.
I've got 1 foot.
Stay with me.
Towards the exit.
We'll shock you back into life.
Okay, I'm going to try to stay.
But here's the thing, man, and global governance, that global governance is just a fancy way of saying global government. Duh. And apparently there are big plans for changing the way the UN operates. It goes on to say that a Security Council with an updated composition and working methods, allowing it to be more effective, representative, and trusted. A revitalized General Assembly with a stronger role in peace and security in the aspiration for a female Security General. This is in the that's the purpose of peace. You can't have peace without a female running it.
Apparently not.
A strengthened UN human rights pillar that is better resourced and coordinated, innovation, data, digital tools. Y'all, this is insane. I especially don't like the term UN 2.0. I'm not exactly sure what that term means, but I don't want any part of it. They openly call it, look at right here. Look at what they say. A UN that uses innovation, data, digital tools, foresight, behavioral science, effectively United Nations 2.0. Can I tell you something? I don't like the current version. Exactly. I sure don't want the updated version.
No.
What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comment section. Tell me in the live chat. Yeah. Are y'all all over? Are y'all excited to get a new UN 2.0? 2.0! UN 2.0! UN 2.0!
Ugh. Terrible.
What do you think about that?
I cannot stand it. It's awful. We have all of these developments on Earth. Like you've got BRICS. You've got all the countries that are not our country that are wanting to go to that system. All right. So where does that leave us when that fully kicks into high gear? Okay. Then you've got this thing where they want a total global governance. I mean, we're just going to be left with nothing, or we're going to be somehow pulled into that because we've got to be united, right?
Exactly.
Under this UN wonderful new program.
Well, I'm not through with this article. I got one more thing to show you.
Oh, there's
because
more.
You're going to love this part.
Oh, you saved the best for last?
Saved the best for the last. What's this? During a global shock. Did we have a global shock in 2020? And this was conceived in the middle of the global shock. During a global shock, apparently the UN 2.0 would be granted emergency powers for a finite period. This is in the document. Let's read the words from their own document. These potential shocks would necessitate the activation of, quote, emergency platforms, which could grant the United Nations more power to respond to these apparent emergencies. The document says the UN will present member states with, quote, protocols for convening and operationalizing emergency platforms based on flexible approaches to respond to a range of different complex global shocks. In other words, we're going to tell you what to do in your country. While the UN claims these emergency platforms will only be conceived for a finite period, quote unquote, will not be a standing institution and entity with respect to national sovereignty, critics of the UN fear that these emergency powers would be seized upon and force the UN to new legal powers.
TV timeout right here. So go back up to there. Does that not sound like what Tedros was trying to do?
Yes.
Right?
It does. But watch this. This is even worse because
overall it's worse, yes. But that part that you just read, that sounded a lot like what the main thing he was trying to do.
Because they all work from the same concept. But Tedros was trying to use his power in the World Health Organization to address global pandemics. This just simply says global shocks. That can be anything. That can be climate. That can be, we feel like if we don't do something, we're in trouble with the climate. This could be
war, an asteroid from outer space.
Exactly. UFOs. Not saying it's aliens.
I think it might be aliens.
But it's aliens. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna show you. We got video of a UFO tonight.
Oh, goody.
So look, we're gonna park here for the rest of the night. But y'all, I just want y'all to know this is what I'm talking about. This is September. What was it? September 22nd
and 23rd.
22nd and 23rd.
Yep.
22nd and 23rd.
Going to be
so we got
September
the debate
to remember.
It really is. I think the October surprise is going to come in September. I think the things that we were expecting to happen in October are going to be really, really bad, but I think they're going to start in September.
To correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there always something about September 23rd? It's either the 23rd or the 30th. And I think it's mainly because of The Simpsons. Just kidding. I think there's always something trying to kick off.
I think Delane would say,
on September 23rd. What is that about? Is it him?
I think it's him.
Well, that makes sense.
I think it's him. I think it's him. All right, so look, you talked about this earlier. We're going to just rapid fire this right here because there's a lot of stuff going on with this invasion, what's happened to us with the illegal immigrants. This is in Springfield, Ohio. Residents say that Haitian migrants are crashing cars, spiking insurance, eating ducks from parks. They're eating people's cats. Yes. The government's delivery of roughly 20,000 migrants to Springfield, Ohio has been a boon for real estate, local employees, auto salesmen, merchants, and migrants, but also an unwanted shock to locals as they try to manage their own community. Look at this right here. This is her talking about that she was glad that
is why also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
100,000 Haitian migrants, which you remember what was going on in Haiti. All right, so watch this. The vast majority of the 20,000 migrants from Haiti, most of the migrants crossed the U.S. border illegally, often pushing through the Panama jungle, and now have been temporary legal status by the pro-migration deputies of the Biden administration. The new population has upended this city. In August of 23, a local child lost their life when a Haitian driver without a license hit a school bus and forced it off the road. The man lived, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to watch this right here. Listen to this guy. He goes before this local city commission. And listen to what he says. Ooh, sorry.
A little loud.
Sorry. He's got his own YouTube channel exposing this. That's what he's doing. Now this is Scott. He's a local resident.
All right, I'm 28 years old, and I'm a social media influencer, and I just be on TikTok and stuff. I do YouTube. I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and like And I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on the bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me tonight, FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, like, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for like going left to center and like a couple miles over, like, y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic. They need to, y'all pay them, they can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive, because it's
So I mean, this guy just he's going viral because
he's
of this.
He's talking a lot of common sense, isn't he?
But this article goes on, I believe. This is let's see. Okay. I'm gonna go down here and show you a little bit more about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. Absolutely heartbreaking. Resident tells mayor that she can't take it anymore as Haitian migrants squat on her lawn, litter in her yard, and harass her and her elderly husband. The mayor of Springfield does not want people to see this. Sorry. We're going to let you see it.
Thank you. I live at 426 Northwestern Avenue. Miss Skinner, who I'm
And I'm telling you right now, if any language comes out, I ain't worried about
not
it.
trying to put on the spot, is my neighbor.
Just talk to me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move.
Wow.
He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry.
God.
Please give me a reason to stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
That is the harsh reality that a lot of people are living with right now.
Yes. Man, that was heartbreaking.
It was.
I mean, she's just like, what about me?
Yeah.
What about me and my family?
Exactly.
Man, I want to know what you guys think about that.
How many people have that same story?
Yeah. If this is going on in your town, let us know, because we want to know. Now, many of you will know this guy's face here, James O'Keefe. He has O'Keefe Media Group, O&G, and he's really breaking a lot of secret things, secret documents, and leaking out things. Over 400, I think it say this Trinda Aruga, Venezuelan gang members are active now in New York City. We know what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. But let's read this article here. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. It says, it has been revealed that controlled unclassified information from the U.S. Army that there are growing presences of the Venezuelan gang Trinda Aguara, or TDA, in the United States. from James O'Keefe's O'Keefe Media Group. According to the document released by ONG, they have established a presence in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Williamsburg, New York, with approximately 400 members residing in these areas.
That's all? Come on.
So let's watch him here and hear what he has to say.
Leaked U.S. Army CUI documents reveal warning of criminal Venezuelan organization Tren de Aragua expanding threat across New York City. The document states that Tren de Aragua has established a presence in Brooklyn, Bronx, and Williamsburg, New York. Approximately 400 TDA members live in those cities. Tren de Aragua, known as TDA, criminal organization members in Denver have been given a green light to fire on or attack law enforcement in Denver, Colorado.
Did you hear that? The intelligence says that the gang members have been given the green light. We've been talking about being activated here, and it's not just terrorists, but also gangs, terroristic gangs. So the internal army document is saying that it is confirmed that they have been given the green light to fire upon local police.
HSI New York reportedly received a similar report. O'Keefe Media has obtained controlled unclassified information known as CUI.
It's just a little bit of repeat of that. But so, yeah, we've got that going on. And then this is what we're talking about. Animal sacrifice rituals are increasing in Queens, New York.
Just in time for Halloween or just in general?
Just in general, because of the Haitians, the voodoo, and all the stuff that they bring. In an exclusive report, the New York Post has reported a surge of animal sacrifices have been taking place in Queens, New York. In the last month, chickens, rats, dogs, and pigs' mutilated body parts have been discovered in the Spring Hill Park in Howard Beach at the Jamaican Bay Wildlife Refuge in Queens. Several rescuers reported finding live pigs with severed ears, a dead dog with his neck snapped. I hate to read this. A hen in distress, a decapitated chicken head, and a baby rat tied up in a bag. Local religious leaders believe the animal sacrifices stem from a sect Hindu, I said Haitian, but Hindu devotees who worship the goddess Kali. Is that Kali? Yeah, Kali.
Kali.
So look, let's look at this right here. Animal sacrifices on the rise. These are, and by the way, maybe you didn't know this, but the Supreme Court of the United States upheld the right to animal sacrifice on religious grounds in 1993. And under the NYS law, aggravated animal cruelty is a felony punishable by 2 years in prison. But you see these temples that they're being, you see these Hindu god temples that are being built, and these sacrifices that are happening. And this guy right here is getting ready to take this bird, and you can see what he's about to do, but this woman saves the bird.
Why do you have the bird?
Say it again.
Why do you
I catch you when
Let me have the bird.
But, yeah.
I have the bird. I have the bird.
You gotta be thinking.
I know how to hold the bird. Let go of the bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
What in the world? What in the world? So watch this. Not only are they eating them, but they're sacrificing them to their gods in parks and places, and people are taking over people's front yards. They are threatening them, throwing things at them in their own house. We have the squatters that are taking over. We have the gangs in Colorado that have taken over entire complexes, and no police is coming. No police will go and do anything about it. Unbelievable. I mean, I know of a local, here in the local area of Alabama, of a family that is dealing with this squatting law. Yeah. It's like you cannot get rid of these people once they go into your property. I mean, who would have ever thought that we would live in a world, squatters, when you think about squatters, you think about going out west and squatting in a land of uninhabitable, desolate land, and you decide, I want some land here in the early founding of our nation, not going into a house that somebody's already paid to build and has a mortgage on, and they went on vacation and you broke in their house and now you can't get them out. But that's just one of so many things that's happening in our country.
It's just inconceivable that this is happening. God.
Well, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And have you heard this narrative that border crossings are down in the last few months and all this kind of stuff? You know, first of all, I don't believe it. Second of all, do you know why the numbers are down? Here's why. You don't have border crossing numbers when you fly them across the border 30,000 feet above the air. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have resumed secret illegal alien flights into the United States paid for by U.S. tax dollars. 347,959 people recently have been flown over the border and landed in Texas and Florida so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you listen to Michael Yon, he will tell you nothing has slowed down. It's only speeding up. They're building roads. They're making a way for more buses to travel the roads south of us so that people can get here by walking straight across the border, getting on a bus, being moved by a bus, being flown. It's a whole planes, trains, and automobiles type of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you go around the border or above the border, you don't get counted as going through the border. And by the way, also they're taking illegal aliens and sending them through the legal port and just bringing them in. So they're so that they could have the number of illegal crossings go down. But according to the statistics, over 636,000 illegals used the CBP1 app. Remember that app we told you about, where you get the app and it tells you where to go, who's going to pick you up. They're waiting with your prepaid Visa cards and all that, and your flight, your bus, or your train to whatever city they're going to take you to. So this is just what they're telling us.
Yes.
Confirmed 636,000 used that app, and over 462,000 have been flown directly into the United States using the CHNV parole program. These are simply other tactics the Biden regime used to bring future Democrat voters into the United States paid for by your U.S. tax dollars. Because here's the reality. Y'all, I don't care what you say. I don't care how compassionate you call this. I don't care. There is no reason for this to be happening unless you plan on turning them into voters so that you can have a forever platform and a forever party. There's no other reason, because it is doing nothing but draining the systems of this nation. It doesn't make sense for any other reason other than you have a plan for them to help shore up your agenda.
We talk about this so much and at length some nights, but it's still just so hard to believe that this is actually going on. Your tax dollars are paying for our own demise.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot of ground to cover. We got to go fast on it real quick. Some of you heard about this. Pakistani man was charged with plotting a terrorist attack against Jews in New York on the anniversary of October 7th that is coming up, and he admitted that it was going to be the largest scale attack since 9/11. And so I'm thankful that they found them. So I don't know if you've heard about that on your news. And then how about this? What in the world is going on with the polar vortexes and the polar caps of our country? This is courtesy of our friend Ricky Scaparo from End Time Headlines.
You're talking about polar shifts?
Polar shifts. But this is the polar vortex. This is setting up the polar shift conversation. Scientists have noted that a year-round phenomenon above each of the globe's poles have shown recent signs of shifting and even disruption, leading to potentially significant impacts on climate patterns. The polar vortex is generally an area of low pressure above the Earth's poles that contain the coldest air. The vortex is more influential during a hemisphere winter than in the summer months because of the more pronounced temperature gradient between what is considered to be mild and downright cold. Events that are known as stratospheric warming, changes in the jet stream, and even significant changes of pressures can lead to altercations in the patterns and even a full disruption. This gives us a little example here about how a stable one is holding that cold air up north. A disrupted brings the cold air way down. What they're saying in this article on End Time Headlines is it says the weakening of the winds of the North Pole are basically it's saying that something is going on right now that's causing a disruption in that, which leads us to this, and this is courtesy of our friend BP Earthwatch that's been watching us. Many of you know him. And he sets this up, but I want to give him credit. This is his channel. Go follow him, The Real BP Earthwatch. And so go subscribe to his channel. By the way, that says that I'm not subscribed, but I am subscribed, BP. This is a new browser that I got tonight, and I haven't subscribed on this browser. I am a subscriber of yours, BP. Okay, so let's watch this news article that he shows here about this.
The driest places on the planet is about to experience an exceptionally rare downpour. The Sahara Desert is expected to see record amounts of rain in the next 2 weeks, with some areas of the parched desert set to receive 5 times their average rainfall for August and for September. And that could trigger flooding elsewhere in North Africa. I'm joined on the set to hear more about this by our environment editor, Valerie de Camp. And Valerie, first of all, this certainly sounds unusual. Tell us why this is happening.
Well, it is a very rare weather phenomenon. The Sahara receives little to no rainfall at all every single year. And when it does rain, it's an average of 3 inches per year. So when some parts of the region are expected to see 5 times that average, I mean, if you add that up, it sounds like it's not a lot. But in some parts, it could be years worth of rain in just a couple of days. So multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected in places like Mali, Chad, Libya, Niger, Sudan, and Morocco. And so I have this map here of the Sahara Desert is what you see in yellow. And so it is normally an area of permanent high pressure. And what that means is that it prevents clouds from forming and so moisture building up. And that is what keeps the desert dry. And it sits right above this red line that you can see there. It's called the Intertropical Convergence Zone. And this area is actually very humid across this red line, very prone to heavy rain. And so it usually...
Because that's what I want to get to. You've seen this.
Well, she's mainly going to be talking about just this rain coming down in this area, how
so
this
she doesn't
is
explain
changing.
this is in response to the
She may
polar
say
shift.
a little bit about it, but it's not much longer till it's over.
All right, so let me go back to it. So the polar shift is what we're talking about right now.
Areas characterized by very lush vegetation. And so what's happening now with this unusual weather pattern is that zone, that red line, is actually moving north. And as that moves north, it's actually bringing rain to areas where usually you don't see rain at all. So we know that convergence zone is actually moving 152 miles further north into the Sahara and air over North Africa.
All right, so I'm going to stop it. So basically...
And it stops abruptly at the end anyway. It cuts off.
So basically the title of BP's thing there is the planet has tilted 150 miles at the equator.
Yeah.
So we have talked about it. Stan Deo has talked about it. Paul has talked about it, that the polar shift is happening. And when that happens, you were talking about earlier, and we don't want to spend too much time on this, but please help me understand that
this is probably a cyclical thing, and certain people probably know about it. I posed the theory that why is China colonizing parts of Africa?
Listen to this.
It's as if they had a heads up on some kind of knowledge. That maybe
China is, and what she's talking about is China has been taking over many places in Africa. Why? Keep going.
Well, they know there's going to be a problem with food.
Yeah.
And if this dry area starts to become lush again, are they going to be able to grow crops here where they haven't been for such a long time? This is cyclical. This has probably happened before. We have 400-year cycles. We have thousands of year cycles. Somebody is privy to a lot of this information. And they understand how economies are affected and people are affected. So
and so
this didn't catch everybody by surprise.
No, it didn't. And what you're saying basically is they know where the food's going to be, because when the water, you got to have water and sunlight. And when the water comes, places that have never.
So I'm not saying that is an absolute fact. I'm posing that as a theory.
All right. Listen, we're about to tell you about You know, we talked about nanobots. I mean, you ever watched a movie?
I'm about to get really freaked out.
You're about to get freaked out. Remember in movies where they're in space and they got an injury and they just lay down in this chair and they put the machines on.
Oh, not just in space. They had a scene like that in that series Evolution, where all the lights went out.
Yes, yeah.
The guy, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. He was in that show too.
Yeah.
And he had a nano swarm come
like,
and heal him.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that was super weird because that was like 10 or 12 years ago.
Well, scientists are now saying that it's real and they got it, and I'm going to tell you about it in 30 seconds. Watch this for us first.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Oh, yes, we are. We are certainly awake. All right. All right, Sandy, nanobots are real. And here we go. Scientists have now created a legion of tiny robots that can be injected into the body that could open up new frontiers in medicine. Oh, I'm so excited. Researchers have created nanoscale robots that could be used to manage bleeds in the brain caused by aneurysms. The development could enable, and by the way, it's always for good things. This is for a good thing because who doesn't want to help somebody who's had an aneurysm? Could enable precise, relatively low-risk treatment of brain aneurysms, which cause around 500,000 deaths globally each year. The medical condition, a blood-filled bulge on a brain artery that can rupture and cause fatal bleeds, can also lead to stroke and disability. The study points to a future where tiny robots could be remotely controlled to carry out complex tasks inside the human body, such as targeted drug delivery and organ repair in a minimally invasive way, researchers say. So these are actually pictures of them. These are called engineered magnetic nanorobots, about 300 nm in diameter. That's them right there. Swarming bots. You just said swarming a while ago. Think about it in that show, the swarming bugs. The team involving researchers from the University of Edinburgh engineered magnetic nanorobots about a 20th the size of a human red blood cell. How do you do that? A 20th of the size of one human red blood cell, comprising blood clotting drugs encased in a protective coating designed to melt at precise temperatures. In lab tests, several 100 billion such bots were injected into an artery and then remotely guided as a swarm using magnets and medical imaging to the site of the aneurysm.
Right.
Magnetic sources outside the body then cause the robots to cluster together inside the aneurysm and be heated to their melting point, releasing a naturally occurring blood clotting protein which blocks the aneurysm and prevent or stem bleeding in the brain. What a great idea.
Okay, yeah.
For that person.
Yeah. So
but not for the rest of us.
If they could do that if they could help them swarm together and do all their special tasks to help heal you, could they also swarm together to cause a blockage so we can unalive someone?
Headquarters, we need to assign the robots. He is once again saying things on social media.
Did you hear that, NSA? We're on to you.
NSA, please release the robots. Release the robots.
Yeah.
Block the art. This is our world. This is our world that we have to come in here every Monday night and talk about.
Exactly.
But look, Sandy, one good thing that is always something we can always go back to. We can always say it's so good that we've got Bill Gates on the scene. And somebody asked him,
he's going to save us all.
Bill Gates asked him, are you getting ready to retirement? or you think, you're winding down.
And he's thinking to myself, ha ha ha, you have no idea what I'm about to unleash on the world.
And look what Bill Gates' response was. Bill Gates said that he wants to work. And what is his work? His work has nothing to do with Microsoft. He wants to work for another 20 to 30 years, and he uses Warren Buffett as an example. Mm-hmm. He still comes in the office 6 days a week. There he is. There he is. Bill Gates says the number one unsolvable problem facing today's young people. Let's see what it says. I've not even watched this. Let's see what he says.
They would not figured out how to give them more vaccinations. Oh, sorry.
Hi.
All right, so I got to pause it because this music's going to get me hit. Somebody's going to claim it. Bill Gates spends a lot of his time. Let me just read it. That way I can get through it.
Better idea.
Bill Gates spends a lot of his time and his money trying to solve the world's problem. There's one major problem. Bill Gates says this. I don't know what he's saying. He's saying something. What is he saying? I probably don't need to know. I mean, probably this is a good thing that we're not listening to him. Let's listen a little bit.
Correct information.
All right, what is it? What does he say? What does he say? What does he say? Get off the screen. That's his daughter? He has a daughter? I didn't know he had a daughter, Phoebe.
Get some clothes on her.
Yeah, my goodness. All right,
so a lot of money. Buy her some more clothes.
All right, let's see if the article tells us, because I don't want to get hit. Bill Gates says his full-time, working less than full-time sounds awful. So let's do the math. He's 68. He wants to work for another 30 years. 78, 88, 98.
Ding, ding,
he wants to work till he's almost 100 years old. And
he's thinking about how many more people he could kill in that time.
Sandy, the algorithm.
Unalive.
Thank you. So, look, he goes on and he talks about all the things he wants to do. We want to cut childhood deaths in half again. Yeah, whatever. This guy right here is working for the beast system. Do we not all agree?
That's why they call him the Bill Gates of hell. Yep.
I love my little machine.
Anyway.
But, we got to talk about Elon Musk. But, let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and put him in with Uncle Jimmy. Let's bring Uncle Jimmy in right now.
Open that closet door.
Uncle Jimmy!
Release him. It's that supernatural AI update.
To all our new people here, this is what you've been waiting on. This is why you've been hanging on.
You didn't even know it.
You didn't even know it. Background change. Look at the background. It's like some spooky solar storm happening around us. All right. So this is not really an AI, but he's big into AI and he's big into everything, and he's probably a part of the beast system. But I do like him. I like what he's doing about freedom of speech. But Elon Musk is on track to become the world's first trillionaire by 2027. I knew what you were going to say. When I read that, I was like, I know my wife. My wife was going to be like, yeah, whatever. There's many trillionaires out there.
We probably already had many trillionaires.
Yeah. But he's heading towards beginning this officially. At 53, he's currently the richest person in the world with a net worth of $251 billion, according to Bloomberg. However, a new report from Informa says that his wealth has been growing at a staggering average rate of 110% per year. This means that if Tesla CEO's wealth continues to climb at the same rate, he could be crowned the world's first trillionaire in the next 3 years. And then, of course, it goes on to say that this guy here, the founder of Adani Group, would be the second person to become a trillionaire after him. So the reason I showed you that is because, Elon Musk, whatever you think about him, he's a mover and shaker. And I think most people would agree, if you said, who are the top 100 people that are involved in AI right now? If you were to say, who are the top 100 people influencing AI, would you not believe that Elon Musk would be in the top 100?
Of course.
Not according to Time Magazine. Okay. Time Magazine just released, y'all, a list of the 100. Let me see if I can fix this right. What's going on my
Yes,
screen there?
please. Thank you.
I don't know what happened. The 100 most influential people in AI and kept him out, but included Scarlett Johansson.
Makes perfect sense.
It makes so much sense. So Time snubbed the tech titan and artificial intelligence backer, Elon Musk, from its annual list of 100 most influential people in AI, but slapped actress Scarlett Johansson on the cover. The magazine created a composition image for its 2024 cover showing the photos of 18 AI leaders, topped by NVIDIA boss Jensen Huang, which of course he should be on there, has prominently featured the Black Widow star. The second annual Time 100 AI edition, released Thursday, also highlighting CEOs, including Anthropic's Dario Amati, OpenAI's Sam Walton. These people should be on there, as well as the founders and influences of the fast-growing field. But no Elon Musk. Can we hypothesize why? Because he's endorsed Orange Man? Dare I say? Maybe because he interviewed him in the largest interview in the history of the world?
Yep.
Yet Musk, who launched something called XAI last summer, and its chatbot Grok. Let's do it. Here we go. Was that good?
Remember, when you're using that enhancer, you only have to speak normally.
Oh, that's right. Let me try it again. Let's going to speak normally.
I'm speaking normal now, but it is not sounding normal.
Neither is it sounding normal now.
I have to play with that one night. That's so fun.
Oh, okay. So
God,
watch
can
this.
I leave a message on my phone?
Yes.
Doggone it. I love that thing.
The century-old magazine is now owned by Salesforce CEO, blah, blah, blah. So let's just go back to this picture. Look, there's my man, MK, what is his name? I don't know what his name is. The guy on the right here is doing this thing on his chin. I've been following him forever. He's a tech reviewer. I love that guy. I can't think of his name right now. MKHD, I think is what they call him.
Followers, right?
And who's this woman on the very front? Who's that? Yeah, I was looking. I mean, she's like in front of everybody. Who is she? Where is Elon Musk? You can't talk about AI without Elon Musk. Yeah. This is insane. This is very, very obvious that this is political. I mean, come on.
Yep.
All right. So one more thing about Elon Musk. Elon Musk was in the news. He's not only the AI guy, and he's not only the owner of X. He just got banned in Brazil. Dude is the only way that we can get our astronauts back.
Exactly.
I mean, they sent that ship back down, and they was mad because it ended up having no issues. And the two guys, the man and the woman up there, would be like, "We should have been on that."
He just said, he released a couple of days ago his projection of when he would basically start colonizing Mars.
That's where we're going right now.
Okay, great.
That's where we're going right now. That's the next article.
Mm-hmm.
You just introed it perfectly. Yay. Elon Musk comes out and says the timeline to Mars. First starships will be headed to Mars in 2 years. Mm-hmm. The movies are about to become real, y'all. Elon Musk, and by the way, don't count him out. He's determined he's going to Mars. Elon Musk, SpaceX founder and CEO of Tesla, is preparing to send his Starship to Mars in a couple of years. Says here, Musk made the announcement in an X post on Saturday, writing, "The first Starships to Mars will launch in 2 years when the next Earth-Mars transfer window opens. There will," let's just read this where he says, it says, "there will be uncrewed to test the reliability of landing intact on Mars. If those landings go well," get this, "the first crewed flights to Mars will be in 4 years. Mm-hmm. SpaceX creators, the first fully reusable rocket stage, and much more importantly, made the reuse economically viable. Making life multiplanetary is fundamentally a cost per ton to Mars problem. It currently costs about $1 billion per ton of useful payload to the surface.
Mm.
It says, what a time to be alive, somebody says. Social media people are asking, one person said, I'm curious why humans would initially be sent to Mars. Why wouldn't a bunch of robots be sent to build the necessary infrastructure required for habitability?
Go back up. It says, in May, Musk predicted there would be a human city on Mars within 30 years.
Within 30 years.
So,
a human city.
My mind is a flurry with many, many thoughts.
Yeah. And I think that you're wanting to just say what you always say to me. Just go ahead and say it.
They're probably already there if he really thinks he can do this. I mean, it's crazy that we're even talking about this, but I have to defer back to the 1950s when Wernher von Braun presented a plan
to go to Mars.
To Mars.
Yeah. And that was literally what he wanted to do.
That's what he wanted to do above the moon,
In
right?
fact, he said the moon was to just teach them and prepare them for Mars.
Right.
His whole goal when he started NASA and came over with, what was that, Operation Paperclip, part of the organization that shall remain nameless that was really, really bad.
Right.
That many people believed he never really left. But the whole mission was, and he stated it, we're going to the moon so that we can learn how to go to Mars.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we forgot how to go to the moon, right?
Exactly.
Right?
We're talking about 70 years ago.
We can't go to the moon anymore?
A plan that was so, I hate to use the word complete, but look it up on YouTube. Mission to Mars, I believe, was a Walt Disney cartoon because
it's wild,
if you remember, some of you older guys like us can have a couple of memories of Wernher von Braun and Walt Disney doing productions together.
Yeah.
And then there, I believe, like I said, Mission to Mars was a cartoon.
And it's not easy to find, but you can find it. But it's somewhat scraped. Say it's called Mission to Mars, right?
I believe so.
And I'll tell you,
it gives you,
wild.
It shows the pictures, the diagrams of the different. I don't even know what to call them. The craft that would be used to get there.
The circular to have the gravity, to where they would have gravity on there. And he illustrates how they would be able to live on there and walk around and not float without.
If you've seen
it's amazing.
If you've seen the movie Elysium, the circular structure that's constantly spinning, or some of our television series, I believe in the 50s he had designed such a habitat. And would show, I think this cartoon even showed how that would be constructed in space.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
All right, so we got to have to talk about a little bit of AI stuff here. China has released its new text-to-video AI model, Minimax, rivaling hyper-realistic OpenAI's Sora that we've shown you. So, I guess every week we're just going to show you how closer and closer we're getting to no longer understanding and knowing reality. This is an actual movie. Let me pause that. Let me back it up because I want you to read that.
Now, humans, you have considered yourself notified. You're no longer needed.
So this is from China. It's very tiny writing, but I'll read. It says, every scene in this video.
Yes, CJ. Very similar.
Every scene in this video was generated by Minimax Foundation models without any modifications. So basically, they're saying they didn't even go back and tweak it. They just gave it certain commands and made this movie called Magic Coin.
Wow.
I'm getting flagged up and I want you to see it.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to show you because I don't think if I show you much more, I get in trouble. But it goes on. You can go there and watch it yourself. Go to Wine Press News and you'll see it. But this is the new thing from China, Minimax, which is the open attempt to go against ChatGPT's Sora. Now, of course, Elon Musk has Grok, and it's pretty wild, y'all. I've been using Grok. And he's like, what are you doing using the beast system? Well, look, I'm not using it for the beast system. I'm using it for the kingdom. I'm using it for the big picture. But if it ever asks me to worship it, trust me, I will not do it. And if it ever asks me to put something under my skin so that I can scan and pay for my groceries at Walmart, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do it, Sandy. We're not going to do it.
No.
Well, have y'all been to our website lately? If y'all have not been to our website lately, y'all need to go because we're doing some really cool things right now. And
I'm telling you, you are a coffee drinking, hat wearing man about town. That is some cool stuff right there.
Thank you, babe. Appreciate that. And yeah, I am a coffee drinker now in my old age. But when you go there, you can partner with us, and many of you want to do that because you're going to want to help us do what we're doing here with our television ministry. Of course, we have our address. You can send us anything. By the way, not just send us gifts. If you want to in the mail gifts, but if you want to send us prayer requests, testimonies, we read everything that you send to us. So that's the P.O. Box. All of this is on our website. It's also listed in the description. You can partner with us. We just released or just produced our first 4 episodes of our television program for season 2, and they turned out really good. And but we had to do it in another person's studio again. We are finally getting ready. Now, of course, we've already updated you. If you're coming in late, Sandy gave an update. Go back and watch this about midway on her father. And that's priority to us. That's everything to us right now is her dad, which is basically a dad to me as well. I love that man with all my heart. Greatest man of God I've ever known in my life. And so that's priority to us. But while that's going on, life is going on as well. We still pastor a church and our channel here with things that we're doing. But we're building a studio for a television studio, a top-notch television studio. And it's going to cost some serious money. But it's also going to elevate this as well because the same studio that we're going to do our television production in, we're also going to do the Big Picture YouTube show in. So we're going to be able to offer different sets. We're going to have in-studio guests instead of just like this. Like if we have people in town, we're going to have a studio for them to sit down in and interview. These are some things that you may want to partner with us on because these are going to be happening in the next few weeks and even months as we go forward. So just go to LarryRagland.com and partner with us, and we would certainly appreciate it. All right, Sandy, I got to show you what happened in Montana.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, what's
it's
up?
heating up over there in Montana.
It's heating up in
right?
Montana. It is. Montana man records a shocking up-close footage of a UFO rotating in the air that made his wife cry.
I hope it's not because she wanted to take a ride get on board and stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. But a man in a small town in Montana has captured footage of an unidentified flying object, or better known as UFOs, shared the shocking video that made his wife cry. The video was recorded on Friday between 10:10 and 10:15 and showed what appears to be a blinking craft streaking across the clear night sky, said to have been spinning and adorned with a series of rotating lights. The apparent object flew over tiny chateau? How would you say that?
I would say chateau.
Chateau. Home. Why do I always have to talk like that when I'm reading something that's like in French?
You're weird.
I want to talk like this. Chateau. Chateau.
Somebody's
Home.
gifting memberships up in here.
Gifting memberships?
I'm all
What?
about that.
Giving away memberships, yes.
Come on, Jesus. Wow.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
I like that.
All right. So it's said to have been spinning and adorned with a series of rotating lights. The apparent object flew over this town, population to just over 1,700 people. The video, along with the original poster's in-depth account of the sighting, reveals how the man and his wife first mistook the unknown object for a meteor. It comes after Montana was singled out as a hotspot for UFO sightings, with visitors recording some of the most significant and well-documented footage. This is the picture of the when you see that by the tree there, that's the bottom of it. These are still images of it. And I'm going to play the video. This was the colored part that was rotating at the bottom. I'm going to see if I can get this video to play. Now, it starts off a little grainy, but then it clears up a little bit.
Go Jimmy the Kid. He's in a gifting mood tonight.
Cool. Look at all these people.
It's amazing.
Getting memberships. Hey, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
For everybody that becomes a member tonight, this is what I'm going to do for our members only. I'm going to show our members, our YouTube members, a sneak peek of our television show for the next season before it ever even goes live. So I'm going to take the first episode, and I'm going to take a portion of that first episode, probably about half the episode, and I'm going to make a members-only area for all my YouTube members here, which is $5 a month, and you'll get exclusive access to that before it ever even goes on the TV channel. How about that?
Right.
Beginning of the video before the contrast, you can definitely see the shape of the craft. And then about here, I'm zoomed into, I think, times 20, you can see the shape of the craft. Like all those lights are on the same object there. But right.
So to explain it, when we go back to it, you'll see the two dots. They're saying that that's the beginning of both edges, and the color thing is spinning in the middle.
There. Right there, yeah, you see that red light? It's definitely spinning around the bottom of the craft. Like, this is all one object. The lights are in a perfectly straight line, and you can see that it's rotating from this right here. It's just absolutely insane.
And then he plays another video. Well, that's not it. But this is, I've seen it right here, so you can see the colored rotating streak across. And it said it lasted for several minutes and it went away. Who knows? We're not speculating that it's real. If you followed this channel at all, we believe they're seeing something, but we do not believe they're seeing anything from another planet. We believe they're either seeing crafts that are designed here or something from another dimension, which is totally different than interplanetary. We believe they're interdimensional.
I think my takeaway from this story, because totally not impressed with whatever that footage is. You can go all the way back to the saucers that were hanging by wire when people were trying to punk everybody. But the point is this. It's speeding up.
Yeah, it's speeding up.
The puppet masters are losing control. They can't keep everything in the box any longer. Whether this is real or fake, it seems like we're approaching a big reveal of something, right?
Yes.
They can't pay off enough people to be quiet. They can't scare enough people to be quiet anymore. And at some point, something is just going to burst out that they have lost complete control over.
That's obviously not it.
I would say no.
These are some of the.
So they were showing you the area.
Yeah.
That color picture. They were showing you where.
So this image here was a still footage.
Thank you.
What was that? Was that Siri?
That was Siri.
Okay.
She was letting you know something went wrong.
Siri, stay out of this. This ain't got nothing to do with you, Siri. All right. So look. So this is the front and the back, and then the thing that was spinning is in the middle, and that's a colored picture of it. So yeah, what you're saying, Kevin, maybe this is another part of the October surprise. What if all of a sudden this is the beginning of the rollout of so many things? Because
so when they lose complete control in one area, they're finally going to just let this play out and just take their hands off of it and let it just spin out of control. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Either way, however it comes down, if it's used or if it just happens because they can't control it, I think we're heading towards something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to see the numbers for tonight because I have watched multiple times last week, views being taken away from us. Yeah. Last week when we got off that show, I told my wife this would be the biggest show we've ever had, and it was far from it.
Oh, yeah, so you're pretty upset about that.
I was really upset because they're really hiding us and taking things away from this channel. But you know what? We're just going to keep plugging along because that's who we are. As long as we can be on this channel, we're going to show up. We don't care about the numbers anyway. We just care about the truth. Because of no matter what's going on, we always want to remind you that we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we are loving that we were with you tonight.
Yes.
God bless you. Keep praying for Sandy and her dad, praying for her knee, praying for us. And we just thank y'all. And we need a little bit of Harper tonight. So good night, y'all. We ain't woke, but we certainly awake. And she'll remind you too. Here we go. See you next time on The Big Picture.
We aren't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yeah, thank you for all the gifted memberships.
Great job, Jimmy the Kid.